Salute guys. Jibrumas to Maya, Jibrumas to Maya, Jibrumas to Maya. Back with another public service announcement. Back with another public service announcement. Gents, I hope you guys are feeling good this morning. Yes, indeed, South Africa. So we're back with the PSA podcast. I got the name of Mr. Maya. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode. Now, this is a very liquor episode. I've got, when you call people legends, and they somehow feel old, but I must say legend because I've been watching this man since I was in primary school. Hi, Mark.
And you were in primary school long, eh?
Long ago. Very long.
And you were there for a long time. No.
Okay. Not unpassings. No. Okay. Listen, Marc Lottering, lovely having you firstly, man.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank
it's
you
liquor.
for inviting me.
Obviously everyone knows Marc Lottering, comedian, funny man shows. You've been on stages all across the world. You've been in South Africa. You've been in Cape Town. You've done a lot. But if it was really now I'm on a journey. Just a brief, for those who haven't had the pleasure of seeing this lovely in a crowd. Who is Marc Lottering?
Sure. Who is Marc Lottering? I haven't been to Mecca yet.
Oh,
because I know you were.
Yes, it is very beautiful, by the way.
Yes, because I bumped into your mother last week.
Yes.
And now we are both. We trusting Allah that this trip is the trip that's going to make you into the person that you were created to
okay.
be. You're doing great things.
Oh, why was that a problem before?
No, it's net as ek haar gesig kyk, I can see, your mother.
There's pain in the eyes.
Nie vir die wêreld nie, net vir jou.
Net vir jou.
But it was great meeting her. So who is
Marc Lottering?
I'm a comedian from Cape Town. I grew up in Retreat. Never knew that this is what I wanted to do, but I was very patient to see what happens to my life and I believe if you do the stuff that you're supposed to do, you will get that feeling this is the right lane for me. So
the calling. This is it.
Which ek glo now it is a calling.
It is a calling. Listen, Mark, I know you make lots of I've watched some of your shows. I was telling someone, you know what? I think I told you this even yourself. You know what? As a youngster, we had from the Cape Flats of Love on a cassette.
Wow.
And I watched it over and over and over again. Like I knew. My father still is. He's a very funny man. So, we grew up around jokes all the time. And the household was about jokes all the time. My pa, he's that guy.
Yeah.
So now when we watched, and I watched when I watched From the Cape Flats with Love for the first time, I think we actually came to come watch it first. Was that the Baxter, right?
Correct.
It was at the Baxter. I came to the Baxter, and that was what was that? When was it? 90? Was it 90 or the early 2000s?
That was the
1990.
2000s.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
I came to watch it. Because an aunt of mine from America had been in Cape Town. She's like, I have to go see this Marc Lottering. She had left Cape Town for a while. We need to go see Marc Lottering at the Baxter. I was there. Didn't understand much of it at the time. I'm like, okay, cool. I might be like, what? I don't know, like 8. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think now. I'm trying to think how old.
Illegally daarin very bad.
Nee, ek was saam in hulle. And I don't know what Mark's talking about. And then I later watched it over and over again. And this was something that I just kind of recall. I'm like, you know what? This is actually the funniest kak I've ever watched in my life. At the time for someone, you know what people say, die mens was soos jou like, man.
Yeah.
And for me, that was super funny, just growing up. And I feel like it's such a pleasure now knowing you as a person. I haven't watched all that stuff because, you've come a long way, bro.
And the journey continues.
Yes, that's what you didn't stop.
Yeah, the thing about life for me is, it's great when I meet so many people from your generation now.
Yes.
They have this conversation.
This conversation, yeah.
And they actually, that's the show that they talk about. They reference a show that was done around the same time called, I think, Big Stakes and Slap
Big
Chips.
Stakes and Slap Chips, no, not well, yeah.
It's great when people say that, but the interesting thing for me when I hear people say it is, because I can't, obviously, like so many people in the world, I can't look at myself and I can't listen to myself. I don't know how comfortable you are.
No, I don't watch it. Nothing that I've done, I don't watch it again. I'm like, it's done.
So
yes, we moved on now. Done. We've moved on, yes.
And that is so important. I think celebrate the great stuff, but it is done. So now when snippets pop up, because you get people who sit with their phones and then they film what they're watching on the screen and they post it on Facebook. And when those things pop up of the work that I did in the early 2000s, I cringe a little bit.
No, I get it.
Because I go, like First, of course, vanity starts with what was I wearing?
Yes.
And after vanity, then I think, that gag could have been so much better.
Yes.
But yet it's celebrated and it's for its time. But this is the beautiful thing, which is why I say the journey continues. And I think it's like that for people in other aspects of their lives as well. You can always be better. And I promise you, Yusri, the minute, do you know that only clicked for me? I got re-excited about my career about 4 years ago.
What happened?
I just sat still and I assessed myself from the outside. I looked in on what I was doing.
It's not something really philosophical. You got out of yourself.
Too deep,
I got out of myself
I'm
to
not
see.
saying I'm a great dacha, but what I'm saying is I assessed myself and I just thought I want to be excited about everything that I do in every aspect of my life, and I want to include my work in that. So when you think like that, it becomes about your friendships as well. It becomes about, I don't want to go to a thing that I don't want to be at.
Yes,
I want the freedom to say, because when you tell people, no, I can't make it, they always say, oh, you got something on, but then when they say,
no, you busy. I just don't want.
No, I got
just
nothing
not. It's not for me. Yeah.
So you got to get to that stage of your life because life is actually, it goes so quickly. You got one shot at it, so you want to be happy in everything that you do. And I want my work to excite me as well
along the way. No, I got
you. So I'm always and now even when I'm doing my shows up until this year, you start the show on a Tuesday night. The following week on the Thursday, while you're performing, and this is happening to me now,
right now,
of my life. You go, usually because you're Tuesday night, only you can see
the show tonight. Yes,
this is
that was the one. Okay.
I've made the story better. And if you're not doing that, if you're not excited about the work that you're doing, then I think it's pointless.
Yeah.
And that's what it resonates with the audience as well. I always say only, but I know I'm not the funniest person in South Africa by far. But it's
definitely on the top 5. I'm gonna put that out there.
Say what you want for comments.
No, it's not. No, but really, yeah.
But it's about, it's about the storytelling and your excitement when you're telling a story and your honesty. The truth. A gag is not that hysterical because, oh my word, what a funny punchline. That counts. But the minute
the relatability of it
to each other and they scream
Asva. Okay.
That's always been the magic.
Yes.
And so when you bring up the old stuff like from the Cape Flats with Love, and I look at it, because do you know that I believed
How old were you at the time though when you did that, by the way?
Sure, when I started, gosh, so what? That's like 20 years ago. So I must have started on my 50th birthday.
On your 50th?
No,
okay.
I don't know. No, but my first show I did do when I was 30, but that was before that stuff. My first stand-up.
Okay.
So I've been a late bloomer, and it just annoys some people because they still look at me and they can't believe how good I look. But I mean,
yes, no, we spoke about this.
Creating. You must look after yourself as well. Don't envy me. So I look back on that stuff now and I go, why was it so explosive? Because when I first started going on tour with my stuff, we were just going to go to Joburg and Durban and PE at the time it was called, and we were going to come back home and we were going to fold out.
That's done.
What a lekker
ride, yeah.
My crew and 3 of my best friends. So that's how we were going to travel around. Then we got... somebody booked us to come to, they said, we've got Australians, South Africans living in Australia. And I simply found theaters in Australia, like you had nothing to lose because nobody knew you. And we booked it, and then we were doing an international tour, and then we really thought it would be over. And the day I knew that people were taking the funny side of me seriously, my chummy phoned me. I wasn't back in Cape Town yet. He's like, my bro, I was at the braai and they said your name and your surname.
Together, and that's when you know together. It wasn't just Marc.
Someone says
it's Marc Lottering
at the braai in Cape Town.
It's done. It's done.
And then and so we kind of 1 year went into the next. I mean, I think now about why it exploded, and I can tell you, usually, the truth is the same. You've got to come back to the fundamentals. It was just the honesty in the
Honesty, yeah.
And I also believe in, and this is the fine line, because I'm from Retreat.
Yes.
And the fine line is, and I've had, big discussions with people about this, be it in media or otherwise, where they go, you're taking our characters, it's kind of our secret.
Is that what people had said along the way?
Of course, it's bound to happen, especially the intellectuals.
Yes.
And I can totally understand where it's coming from, because people, the fine line is, when does it become stereotypical and laughing at the expense of?
Okay, I got you.
To this day still, my back goes straight. If I'm in a company and I hear somebody, it's normally some very pretty girl putting down a second glass of wine, and
Yes.
she said, "En toe ko Gatipi mos," and I go, "Oh no."
Oh no, yeah.
Gatipi and Marai, toothless
Yes.
joke coming on.
Okay.
And it annoys me, because who is Gatipi and Marai, and what are you actually
Trying to
laughing at?
yes.
And what do people picture immediately
When you say that?
say Gatipi and Marai?
Yes.
I know that you're now coming to the Cape Flats with this gag, and it's going to be, and invariably it's going to be the most barbaric 4-letter words that's just supposed to be the punchline.
Yes.
So when you do these things, and and I've always believed that you must only talk about what you know.
What you know. Okay, so you have to have experience,
And
obviously,
my
at some points, yeah.
when it comes to the taxi gachi, when it comes to Colin the cashier, when it comes to Galatia Geduld, I've
I
experienced...
miss Galatia's. Galatia's still around, by the way.
Galatia's still around, say
Okay.
it, Norma.
Okay.
When I know all these characters, and I know how they think. And that's why I've said you've always got to write about what you know.
Yes.
But for me, the challenge has been, it's not even been a challenge, I've always been conscious of it. You cannot laugh at the expense of these characters.
Okay.
I see it as a celebration of
Yeah.
where I come from. But you've got to do it with such dignity.
Okay, I
And
got you.
you've got to, the joke cannot be at the expense of my people. And that's
what
always been that's always been
Yeah.
that question has popped up.
No, it's
Even
funny.
people study it now. Some woman is doing a thesis on my characters.
A thesis. So it's going that deep.
A yellow ding.
A yellow ding.
They came to the Baxter, and her professor met me afterwards and said, "This is what's happening." But people study this kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I think it is important, because even under the banner of comedy, it's not just the history textbooks that are now going to be
Yeah.
telling our stories, because now we have social media and we have storytellers in so many forms. So when people want to reference this time in which we are living now, there are going to be various platforms.
Yes,
They can go
to where
to
they can go
reference
find out
that.
all this information,
And
sure.
stand-up comedy and the role of the storyteller is very significant in that way, in that without us thinking about it, but the comedians talk about the times in which we are living
Yes.
now. So it's not surprising for me that people want to look back
Yeah.
and study it and see where we come from and see if it's perceived as being racist, see
Yeah.
what everyone feels about it. When people see themselves reflected on a stage, are they celebrating with the comedian,
Or laughing
or are
at?
they nervously sitting in that Baxter Theatre looking around, for example, and somebody is sitting there who's brown looking at white people laughing, going, are they laughing at me now?
Or celebrating
are they celebrating this as well?
Now on that,
Yeah.
since we're here now, if you look back at it now, obviously now, was that where you were thinking when you just started? Because obviously this is you in retrospect, this is current day Mark. So when you started those jokes, obviously for the first time, were you thinking like, no man, I'm making this character to celebrate the people? Or was this like, nee man, this is what I must see, I must from
It was
retreat.
wild when I started, my bro. I was just in this to get goodness.
Goodness.
Okay. No.
Yes. Did it work? Did you get the kindness though?
The brothers.
Did you get the
So, no, I was crazy when I started, because
Yes.
you've got to remember when for me, this was all because I'm a keen observer of people, and I still am. And my favorite thing is going to
People
sit in a
watching.
coffee shop the whole day. I can watch people. I love that. I love imagining
Exactly.
what people are doing at the table next to me. I imagine couples are breaking up. I can
Okay.
actually see. If
So it's just
like,
like-
oh, he's not eating his burger lekker. He
They
was
roll in.
put on his place.
Yes.
When somebody's putting on your plate,
You don't-
can't eat.
yes,
Yeah.
it's like-
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you've been through that. So I was like, you're ruining my night. Must you bring this up now?
Yeah.
So, so I'm a keen observer of people, and I did a lot of observation before I stumbled onto comedy. So when I was given the microphone, there was a lot that needed to come out. So all I wanted was, I've got these funny stories inside of me, and
I need to put them out. Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of other thinking.
Was Mark doing anything else before comedy? I mean, like,
yes.
Did you have like a normal? Like, were you ever a normal day job kind of guy at any point?
Which means you've got to come to my new stand-up show. So,
okay.
So I wrote that musical where I cover all of these things.
Okay.
Tickets are all via web tickets. Stop it. What? It's on my website. Usually some ask me those.
Okay.
Marc Lottering.com. So,
what more do you want to know? Have it at the back though. Yeah.
So I went and I studied law at UCT.
Okay, brilliant.
And they obviously asked me eventually to leave, please, because they had to create space for other people.
What was happening there? I mean, also now, why law though? Why law though?
My parents thought that was, if I wanted to go and study anything, that it should be something respectable.
Okay.
And I think law at one stage, now when I talk to more people, it was a very popular choice without a lot of thought behind it.
You know what? I just interject just for a second. You know, that was actually something that my father's parents had told him he has to go do. He has to, no, actually not that he wanted to do at the time. Well, my father's 66, 67? And this was something he wanted to do. He was like, he was going to study law. But his mother, I told him at the time, I don't want no liars in this house.
You see,
so now that was a different perspective of it.
Yeah, but at the time we had a lot of legal shows on TV where they were glossing up these American shows. They're always law firms.
This is my attorney.
Yeah,
whatever.
Everybody's looking fabulous, and after work, people are in designer suits and they're going for a drink at a bar, and then there's someone doing karaoke together.
So it was like
and they're living large.
Okay.
So I think that, fed into that kind of idea. And then, and when I got to UCT, they must not tell you, do your undergrad degree and then you'll do your LLB postgrad.
Yes.
And the undergrad was 3 years. I did my undergrad over about 6 years because it's hard for me. I get attached to people.
So you want to keep, you don't want to just leave. Okay.
Yes. So, so they eventually asked, they said, don't I think there's something else I should do, like in life, off campus?
Yes.
So, and then I got a job in advertising. And that changed my life.
And this is like the early 40s. I mean, so what kind of advertisement were you doing then?
I was like, you'll be shocked.
The early what kind of advertisement happening?
To sell.
Okay.
No, I was one of the account that I ran was for Volkswagen.
Okay.
And they did a performance arts development program for high school students across the country.
Yeah.
And I was a project manager in the agency on that account. So so then, and when I worked with people in advertising, that changed my life because they're almost hectic and they party hard.
Yes.
And it's all about, being confident about where you are in life and when you walk into a room. And so it actually assisted when it came to the process of when I decided to do stand-up comedy, because there was always this fear of, people would say to me, but you're from the Cape Flats, when you pick up a microphone, not everybody's going to understand.
Okay.
And it's always interesting for me that
but yet you've appealed to so many people. But you've appealed to so many people from all walks of life on your journey. I mean, I've seen it.
It's not just that. I mean, in the show that I mentioned earlier,
yes,
the current show, I say when I went to watch Shakespeare.
Yeah.
At Maynardville recently, because a friend of mine was in Midsummer Night's Dream. And you watch people there, and they're also ready to understand William Shakespeare.
Yeah, even without...
They only understand it like after every 12 minutes, dan figure hulle uit wat gebeur. And
are they still,
I mean, in one scene...
Are they using the same language? I mean, the same Shakespearean language at the time?
Shakespearean language.
Okay.
And they accept...
I doth not protest, yeah.
No, and I said, do South Africans go home? Do they speak like that in the kitchen? And they're going like, I now maketh tea, shall thou partaketh? And he's like, I do declare.
Patience.
Diabetes has befallen upon me.
Yep.
And, but people make the effort. And in Midsummer Night's Dream, the woman ends up in bed with a donkey, but it was fine.
Okay. Bestiality? Okay, this is where we are right now.
Donkey maak adjust. I said, but wow. But they won't come to my show.
Yes.
But the donkey's fine there.
Yeah.
So I think people make an effort to understand what they need to understand, but there's this thing that comes up about the Cape Flats.
Yes.
Where there's a perception, and it's and it spreads across our country You know, and then people come from outside the country, Yusrik, and they watch even now the musicals that we are doing, which is such another liquor chapter of my life,
Yeah.
having staged the musicals. All the internationals wait after the show and they understand perfectly, and they come
do.
back again and again, and they love it. You know, so we also have this disease of not believing. You know, there's a self-worth problem. I understand it. I'm not judging
Yes.
it. Because when we were growing up, I know my generation, it
Yeah.
was everything American. Like your clothing. I mean, we even had a day at school called American Day.
American Day. Okay,
That's when
interesting.
You could go in your service, and then for us, it was just that was the yardstick. You know, if you're not appealing to the world and speaking in that kind of accent,
It was
then
never gonna
just
work out for you.
haven't Made it.
Okay.
And I know with our younger generation that has changed.
That's no,
So
people are
thrilled
proud.
about
Yeah.
it.
So now, I mean, talking about that now, if you look at yourself right now in those early days. Now you said the means now you have to talk like American, yeah. Or this is the kind of yardstick of where you are going to be in fame. So now, if you look at, because I recall watching your stuff, obviously in the early days, but that is why I found it so appealing because it's stuff that I could relate to. Like I may not have been that person, but I've seen many examples of the characters you played around you. So now, for you getting there, was that uncharted territory at the time?
Getting where?
When you started the characters and being blatantly honest with stuff that people from Cape Town on the Cape Flats could relate to.
Of course, it was uncharted territory for me.
Yes.
And you have to also, if you can go to the person behind it, who's me. I was very, very, very shy at school.
Very shy.
So
Okay.
I didn't say a lot. You know, I didn't have a big beck.
People would assume.
So people would
Mark was
assume.
probably kak funny back of the class making all the jokes.
Most people don't remember me, even when I was at school, because I
Okay.
was that quiet. Because I was that. I found the world to be such.
Are any
a
of your school
bizarre
friends still
place.
alive?
Yes, they all make loans from me. That's all. I keep them alive. My EFTs.
Okay, so you get.
Yes, they're alive in your
Okay.
island. Yeah, I'll make sure Mrs. Obsassa. So almost. But
Okay.
we still get together.
You still get together, okay.
I was Squirrel Primary in retreat and I was at Heathfield High. So
Yeah.
it was uncharted territory, and I think now only you know, I'm getting to a wonderful, you know, I'm exploring more chapters. Just when I think I know everything, then you discover. Now you look back and you see what those characters were. And
What they were, yeah.
What they represent to people and to me. And now, though, when I do the shows, my thinking has changed as well. I don't sell out in terms of how I perform the material, but I'm less crazy now. I'm now more understanding that
yeah.
there's a broad range of people watching.
Okay, okay.
Because when I first started, it was like retreat in the house.
And what was the mindset?
Because Auntie Mel was from Athlone, a lot of people assume that I'm from Belgravia.
That was my follow-up question there. Like, so why do you make so many references to Athlone though, or Belgravia Road?
Because that was just a business model from our management at the time that worked really well, because they felt that the minute I say Athlone, wherever I'm standing in the country, people will immediately know.
Yes.
It will root the characters.
Yes.
But if I say retreat, where I actually come from, there are people, for example, in Joburg who've never heard of retreat.
Okay.
And they don't. And we want them to know immediately.
Well,
Cape
whoever
Flats.
told you to do that was perfect because I was from Athlone at the time and I went to Belgravia High. So for me it all felt home.
Yeah,
I was like, no, he's from here. He's from here by us. He's from here by us.
Got a lot of money and then I retrenched. So, but he had a few great ideas.
Yeah. Okay, so now Mark, listen, so now we're going to bring into more current day stuff now. So this is just a bit of the journey, wat jy nog gepraat hoor.
Oh, okay. Am I running? Is it too much?
Nee, jy gaan jong.
Oh,
It's
okay.
fine, you're busy.
Okay,
And Mark's
okay.
a storyteller. This is what we love about
Okay.
him. Okay, so now here we are today, South Africa, new banknotes coming out. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you have any of yourself. Have you seen any?
No, I don't handle my money myself.
Okay.
It's normally on the phone. I
That's
just
on
check
the phone.
my balance.
And I tell people every time, you know what, people that we don't walk around with cash anymore. We don't
No.
we don't sell anything. But now there are new notes out.
Okay.
So apparently there was a printing error on it in terms. I don't know if
heard
you've
that
seen
there
it.
was wasn't there a spelling mistake?
A spelling mistake on this money.
What was the word that was spelled incorrect?
You know what? I think it's is it also word.
Okay.
So that is because I was kind of looking at it for myself. I was like, but where's the word? I'm like,
So who made
okay.
the spelling mistake? Someone called like Marietta Vermeulen? Or somebody
Whoever was,
didn't
whoever,
obviously-
we don't know without pre-approval. Okay, listen here, this is the money, it's going to go through, you can approve it. Okay, you approved. We don't know. I don't know what happens, but somewhere there was a printing error. I know you're the type of person that speak on current affairs often. Like, tell me, where do you think this country is at right now? Because now we have wrongly printed money, stage 9 load shedding lingering.
Wow.
What is Marc Lottering have to say about all of this disastrous things happening?
Okay, this is what I have to say. First of all, where the hell does my neighbor
Yes.
get the money for her solar panels? I know she's unemployed.
Wait,
That's
okay.
the first issue
Yes.
that's up that I'd like us to
A
address. but
son in the
we'll
UK
sort
bought
out
that.
the address later.
Yes.
Can say Vicky. But Yusrik, it's become tough
Yes.
to I don't want to say it's become tough to make people laugh, but we've had to think about it a lot more, because now when people come to the theater, I've got to imagine what they've left at home.
Krach is
I've
af.
got to imagine them having driven in darkness to the theater. So now they come, because normally I would walk on stage and your first joke's going to be about stage 9 or whatever.
Yes.
So now I'm sitting still in the room and I'm thinking, do they want to hear about that? Or do they want to go, Mark, Kanala,
Ons is
90
klaar.
minutes of not that?
Please,
At the
yes.
same time, I don't want to appear like I've got blinkers on, like I don't know
Like it
what's
doesn't
going
exist.
on.
Yeah, so then how do you go about that?
So, okay, you select your stuff, I mean,
Yeah.
2 nights ago, you walk on stage and I thought, I'm not going to start with the load shedding thing. So I said, this is going to be the first week that Prince Charles is like going crazy in his bedroom screaming, yes, queen.
Yes.
Because you could never say that to her.
Yes.
But you're going there, you're going prime cool drinks. 'cause
Yes.
almal het mos nou
Prime,
gekloop
yeah.
vir day,
Did you buy the 600 rand one, by the way?
I did not.
Okay,
I
just
did
checking.
not.
Just checking.
Did you?
No, I'm
Did
not.
you taste it?
I did. I did taste it. A friend of mine actually sells it, and then I was like, he's like, Maya, just come collect 2 bottles here. Just come try it.
What do you mean a friend of mine sells it? You got to be very specific.
No,
Now, from the boot of his car.
No, not from the booth. Okay,
yeah.
So he has a store in the Salt River area, which is, what's the name? A vape store.
Oh, okay.
So he basically stocks this inside the shop.
Okay.
So I came out there, I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, it's called Likamva, by the way. Shout out to you. You're going to pay for that, by the way. Anyways, I went to Likamva.
Okay.
I'll send the
What's
invoice.
it called?
Likamva.
How do you spell it?
That's Liq
Yes.
space, dash Kamva.
See what I did there?
Yeah. So there's the Canva, and then he's like, come try it. And I'm like, my bro, I want to try this thing. Since everyone's been talking about, there's been this huge hype around it. I tried it. Have you tried it?
No, because I don't understand.
The hype. Look, I'm not knocking anyone's hustle, but I personally would not purchase it again. I got it for free, but I would never go buy it. Taste, it's like concentrated. The drinker pop of back in the days, the drinker pop, what it tastes like when you just put your finger in there.
Yes, I do know that very well.
It tastes like that in a concentrated form. Like,
Wow.
that's the best. I think that's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, I just haven't, because I've been on social media and I see everybody, and I judge whether I should get a product by looking at the people who are.
What are they
chasing
saying about it? Yeah.
No, not just saying, but like wearing.
Okay.
Oh. And I'm like, nee man, because you look at the people who are queuing and anyway, I don't get it. So I've not been turned on by it.
I
But
think
I'm not going to say I won't. If somebody
try
walks
it.
in here right now
With a bottle of Prime, you can try
and
it.
says, Mark, please try it, then I might do that. But yeah.
Yeah. Look, I also, I think this also just shows the power of social media or the power of marketing today.
Absolutely.
Because it's created, because if you actually ask the people back in the statement, bro, what does this thing cost? They're like, nah, this thing costs about like $8 here. You know what I mean? So it's like a normal energy drink costs like what, 50 rand, 60 rand, 70 rand over in the US. Yeah.
Can't understand it. Jy sit in die donker te by die huis sonder inverter, man.
But jy wil Prime.
Die hele kus Prime. So that brings me to the state of things now.
Yeah.
So we've had to go. Do we take people's minds over? Then when we were doing the musicals now, and of course, all of us have to get used to a whole new way of life. And the theaters are suddenly doing the generators. And when it was tricky trying to get it right, because then the aircon goes off when you
Okay.
start sharing. People are getting hot.
What's this happening? Is this
This is
now?
now.
Oh, like right now.
Now.
Okay.
People get hot while watching a show, because if it's
And it's hot in there in any case,
takes time.
Yeah.
The actors, I mean, for me, I was You sweat. The sweat
Bullets, yeah.
is running into the microphone. It's just a miserable state of affairs. We rose above it because, the person who wrote the shows is just phenomenal.
Okay, yes.
So
We must put this out there.
was able to transport people beyond
Okay,
that.
beautiful, beautiful.
But we walk, we take our bows, music, and of course the meetings after the show, and people are down. I'm talking about the creators because people are having a great time watching the show, but we go, what brought us here, to this point in the country?
Yes.
And so I can't stand on stage like I used to anymore. And it wasn't long ago when I was still encouraging people. Come on,
yeah.
we
We'll
are
get
South
through this.
African. We
Yeah.
are resilient. Look at all the drama and the stuff that we got through. We absolutely will get through this. And South Africans are made of tougher stuff. And I've always believed, and I think I still believe it, there are more South Africans who want the country to work
Yes.
than there are South Africans
Who
who
don't
actually
want-
want to sabotage the whole thing. But the people who we read about, and we have to read about them, are essentially the bad apples. Our leadership is a shit show.
Yeah.
Nobody even knows if the leadership can handle, can guide and lead as he's supposed to be leading. So I look forward to the next election, but the discussions around my coffee table at home,
Yeah.
when my friends are there, is are we going to be disheartened again by seeing how people vote and why do people vote in a particular way? Because
This is what we know.
The
This is-
allegiance and the
Yeah.
loyalty is based on a very important thing that happened in our country that gave Mark and Yusrik freedom.
Yes. And now we
would not have had, and opportunities like this.
like this, yeah, for sure.
Where it encouraged us to suddenly our dreams were becoming more possible.
Yes.
And Matiba did all the right stuff for us, and the ANC was fighting the fight before that. So many people are attached to that memory.
Yes.
And that affects the way in which people vote. And that, Yusrik, breaks my heart because
yeah.
I wanted better things for my nephew and my niece.
Okay.
And I did not want us to go the predictable way, because when you hear how people speak about Africa, when you hear about how people
How
speak,
beautiful, and yeah.
no,
the beautiful
the politically.
Politically, okay.
How we quickly move away from democracy, how people get into power and then money just disappears and people live lavish lives. I didn't even follow the story. There's a daughter of
Greed, yeah.
a president, is it in Zim or where they
I didn't check it out. What did they say?
So I didn't read it, but I've got little
Gist of it.
on the radio,
Okay.
how there's so much money, that people keep away from where the money should be going.
Yes.
So that saddens me because we have the opportunity to still be an exciting country. So for me, I have anxiety in my stomach about that. And we can only pray that things will go in the right
In the right
direction.
direction. I think what Mark's trying to say here, guys, man, corruption needs to stop. In a nutshell.
but we passed that already. It's become
Yes.
acceptable.
It does.
And then what do you do in the face of that where it's become acceptable, where you actually saying, because now it's not a case of us telling people you are corrupt.
You
and you've
corrupt,
been
yeah.
caught out. Everybody's like going, yeah, but you can't touch us.
Now listen, so now on the flip of the script, so this is just another conversation that people have. So
We should
obviously,
be in politics.
no, we should.
Yeah, we
I think
should be
this is gonna be the only episode that's gonna go for 2 hours, but that's okay.
Wow.
Because we love Mark.
Because we're
Listen here.
politicians, we're future
Listen,
politicians.
so Mark,
People will vote for us.
They will.
Oh, Yusrik.
I actually never think of Mr. Meyer for president.
Oh, it's Gatscalibes. No, we won't.
Now that was the thing I was about to ask you now, because lots of people feel like, okay, so now these are the people in power right now. If they look at the old government where it was, and now we're kind of moving into this. Now people are like, I'm gonna take what was rightfully mine. It was stolen from my forefathers. While I'm in the
Yes,
position to steal, I'm going to steal. Right? So now it begs the question then, and if you should be the president, Marc Lottering is the
Yeah.
president, and they say absolute
Power.
corrupts, absolutely.
yeah.
So now, if you get into into that space, you might say that now based on your values. But I'm asking, if you are in the position, it's like Mark, no one's gonna notice at 8 billion. Take. So now your values right now, we are out there. You're like, no, I won't take it. But now, how many people come from good values homes and be like, no, I'm gonna leave the money. It's for the people. I think I'll just take 2. Like, that's how easy it becomes.
Who's our reference as to someone who started off as a good person?
Yeah.
Man or woman in politics, who do we know started off as a good person and who suddenly turned on us? My memory mostly, I was never shocked by anything that came out. I was like, niemand jy lyk soos 'n skelm. Maar jy dra Louis Vuitton, jy toy dra en Gucci.
Yes.
So, nothing really shocked me, and we need a complete turn on. I can tell you, for me,
yes,
I would be such a great leader.
You would be a great leader. Okay.
Oh wow.
But Marc Lottering
campaigns are fabulous. So, no, I think we need younger people.
Yeah.
I think we need, just a fresh injection again, because as much as there was, they always talk about those, what do they call the more experienced ANC people? They sometimes meet for tea.
Yes.
That group, man.
Yes.
When there's a lot of cuck going on, and they always like, oh, no. I mean, Cheryl Corrales is in that group.
Okay.
Those people, there are young people like that.
Now, yes.
Now, there has to be. It's not even a debate.
But how easy it is for them to get through the door, though?
This is for us. That's why I say when the next election comes,
okay,
to see how it goes.
Okay, Mark, who must we vote for?
It's a revolution.
Mark,
it's a new revolution.
This is the podcast. Who must we vote for?
Who must we vote for?
I'm asking you, just straight up. Who do you
know in South Africa right
yes,
now?
Who do you is there anyone?
There's no single party. There are people.
There are
who
people
should be brought into the
okay.
So
what are you saying? It looks a bit bleak now.
All the parties.
Yeah.
There are individuals who are going, how the hell did we get here?
Yeah.
How am I here? But there is not one party, because what you essentially now, we're going to talk EFF, we're going to talk DA.
Yes.
We're going to talk ANC. Those are the first 3 that come up.
Yeah.
People get slightly gesaped when they talk about politics, right? So.
Wie say Dylan?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
so, and then they go, rather voting for them.
Yeah.
I'm rather voting for them. And now it scares me when I see, because in my group, I'm not the cleverest person. Like, I've got a lot of chummies who are like higher grade. So I'm not the cleverest person, and they were explaining to me the other night about this party joining that party.
Yeah, and what coalition kind of thing?
Yeah,
of them.
Must be upstage me.
Coalition. Okay.
I know the word. You're making me like so nervous. So they were explaining how people are just candidly talking about how that's going to happen. But as they're telling the stories, people just accept.
Mark, someone's at the door.
Already, because we're going over time. Because we're going over time.
I think it's more.
Yeah.
It's fine. Let's just see who's at the door quickly. Don't mind, we can cut this part out.
Okay.
Who is it? Kido. Hi, Maria.
Come in.
No, come in. You're right.
It's
no.
It's must.
Yeah. What? I actually told him. I told him, and then he was like, "That's the reason I'm coming. Is Kino gonna be there?"
Sorry, guys. Kino the actor.
Yeah. Yeah. He owed him money. That's. I actually made sure that this thing happened on the same day so that he could pay his money.
Are you waiting on Userix and protection?
No, I think maybe you're gonna have to get seated over that side just
you can take it.
In fact, you can
spelling mistake on there.
Upstairs you can chill. There's like whatever whole chill area, zen area up there. Yeah.
Sorry, Kino, we won't be long.
Okay, so you said coalition.
Mistake on the money. Yeah.
Yeah. So here we are, and so you were saying.
So. When people talk about the coalition and how they just naturally talk about, oh no, then there's no question about what you believe or what you believe. It's how the numbers work. And then together we can be in power, and then we'll obviously then we can kick the ANC out, and then we will work out what we
What we can-
actually believe in and how we're going to.
So now it's a whole another struggle that you first have to knock out before we actually get to.
Yes, and
What
then
do
you
you do, like-
still have individuals who are in this, whether it's a strong coalition or not, I still believe it should move beyond that.
Yes.
So I still want more exciting people, and also to get younger South Africans interested. The reason they're not interested in politics, all our young generation
Yeah.
knows, is the people now who are in grade 12, they only politicians are, for them it's about non-delivery and corruption.
Yes, and now
That's a politician.
So
because
now
that's your life.
Now you talk about that because now obviously we have some of these high school kids now. Even varsity kids. They're like, okay, cool. I'm just not voting. I'm not going to be part of it because now if you look at the voters roll, besides the number of people that are voting, you will see lots of the youngsters are not voting because why? Like, nee fogai, man. I mean, that is the mindset because like, yeah, don't work, man. What's the use? And I mean, we've
Wouldn't
been
that
learning.
be your mindset if you're sitting in the dark?
Yeah, it doesn't
and
work.
Yeah.
I was promised this and that, but ons wag nou nog.
Yeah, apathy. I don't know, Yusrik. I mean, you asked about, the current state of affairs and how one feels about that. And I think, I don't want to get too trapped in it because
Yes.
ultimately it's my job to lift the spirits of people.
Yeah.
And the more people laugh, the more money I make. So that's also something to be very, very focused on. But I think then, with all the shit that's going on
Yeah.
in our country now, surely, the clown or the court jester, whoever they call comedians
jokes,
in the
yeah.
world now, when you, right at the beginning, you said this business of, is it a calling? And then you have to ask, if it is, then what is it about? I think surely it's about to be cynical, highlight the issues of what's going on. But ultimately, the only way people get through the shittest point
Is to laugh through that pain.
is through laughter, be
Okay.
whether
But I think South Africans have taken that too far now because now we just like laughing at everything. Like, the lights is off again. What do you know what I mean? Obviously you're upset, but now we passed the point of now, do I still get quiet now because it's gonna happen? You're like, once you get that notification,
I think it's
55
important,
minutes to go,
It's important to be angry because that ties in with how you are going to vote.
Yes.
And what I said earlier is, when it comes to the numbers and everybody voting for the ANC,
Yes.
people carefully just need to sit still and look around them and go, because the government works for you.
Yeah.
What has my party done for me?
Okay.
And of course, with that equation, you're still going to get some people who go, well, absolutely nothing.
Nothing, okay.
Be it EFF, DA, ANC, good part, they've done nothing for me. There are people who feel that.
Yes.
And they just dissociate themselves with politics completely. But there are other people who are very active in their areas and looking around as
And
to
I
how
believe
things
there are
work,
some more
how
young people
roads
coming up.
work, how schools are
Yeah.
working, housing
Yeah.
for people who have no homes, what's happening, are there plans in place? So these are the questions that people need to ask.
Yeah.
What is your toilet situation like?
And I mean,
Very
also even
basic stuff.
the unemployment rate right now, which is obviously through the roof because I think it's like 60 or 70% of. I might not be too sure on that says about of young South Africans right now,
Wow, that's
Like-
a high number.
which are just like they don't have work.
I
And things.
know,
And
yeah.
I know people personally. I'm like, so what you doing now? Cialis was last year for coal. You know what I mean? So like,
Wow.
so then what? So what do we do with that right now with this big gap of all these people at home? Then they wonder like, obviously taxes are going up. I don't know what your property value is worth now, how much you're paying for taxes, water, electricity, these kind of things. It's all going up. But I mean, even again, you look at the people's paychecks. Is it going up? It's probably not. I'm talking about your day-to-day workers. I'm talking about your person that has his regular 9 to 5. How is he surviving on that money?
You see,
Today.
and it does come back to leadership. I get to do some gigs outside the country wherever there are expats, and when you hear it's heartbreaking when you hear about how people are being taken care of.
Yeah.
If they are unemployed or if they are at varsity.
No, I believe
or-
they have many programs or services for them now, obviously.
You almost get paid to go to college. You get paid to go to varsity. You get begged to follow a course of study that government is subsidizing.
Yeah.
So it comes back to leadership again, and I know that I'm doing my job as the comedian.
Yeah.
So
You have a lot of content to work with, basically. There's plenty of content.
Too much, and other
Okay.
people have to step up, and it's the old phrase of holding the leaders accountable. And
yeah.
we have stopped believing. I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
Where you go, I mean, how am I just medley going off and getting an inverter and asking what's the best inverter? But how did you get there even, man?
This is where we're at right
the
now.
most normal thing.
I needed-
Why are we
and
now having discussions?
people throw the words around.
We're going
It's
to
like-
the next load shedding stage 11:50, whatever.
9:15, yeah.
And now suddenly everybody's going, my broer, ek moet uitweek, kan die mense die solar panels afbetaal and you compare.
Yeah.
It should not be normal.
But yet, here we are. Listen, Mark, so now we're going to move along. I think we got very spicy. We went deep into that.
Okay, yeah.
And I think we are going to be running for president. We're going to have a joint presidency. I don't know what we're going to do.
It's very dangerous to make these promises publicly,
Okay.
but you can chat to me.
Chat to
once
me.
The votes are in usually. But it's not
Let's not-
committed to
let's
what we're
commit-
gonna do
okay,
for each
okay.
other before the
Before the
numbers
time.
are in.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Listen, the game is would you rather. So now we are here. We're near the end of it, man. So would you rather have a face that everyone laughs at or a name that everyone laughs at?
I'd rather have a name.
A name. So why that instead of the face?
Because with if you've got a liquor face, you can still get around, and yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the first thing people always say, no, it's your personality that matters. No, but the first thing they see before they invite you into the car is actually your face.
But,
So,
but you
yeah.
find people just about look at you, ha ha, Mark, it's Mark. Do they do that?
Yes, they do, but not quite like that, Like,
I know it's not a funny face.
I love you, man. It's Mark.
It's Mark.
Not wow. That's a very different one. But yes, they do. And
Okay.
It's so liquor for me when they because people can be screaming at you for various reasons.
Yeah.
And I think most of the time they point and they scream and they laugh and
Yeah.
they go, we love you so
Yo,
much.
Mark.
So it's
Okay.
good.
Yeah, this one's a very interesting one because this one works perfectly for you. Would you rather live in a musical show for the rest of your life or live in a comedy show? And like that would be like your reality. Would you rather live in a musical show or in a comedy show?
I'll mess up both your options now. I'd rather live in a musical comedy.
A musical okay, because that's exactly what's happening at the Baxter on when.
There you go. MarcLottering.com.
Okay. So would you rather be invaded by aliens or have the dinosaurs come back? I mean, we still have 1 year, but that's fine.
Would I be invaded by
Aliens. You can take the word invaded however you
No.
like. I know the podcast is over, but invaded by aliens.
invade my canala?
Invaded.
Oh, if they arrive and they do nothing, ek gaan vra wat invade julle dan nie meer nie. So,
Okay. Would you rather have nobody laugh at your jokes or not be able to laugh at anyone else's jokes?
I would never want nobody to laugh at my jokes.
Yeah.
No, I'd go with not being able to laugh at
anyone else's jokes.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. That happens a lot of the
Listen,
time.
as a comedian, do you find yourself like watching other comedians? Like, if ever you do watch a show from someone else, or maybe you've seen some clips, do you watch it in a sense of like, okay, cool, I'm watching this as a general person watching it, or now do you find yourself watching it as like, okay, cool, let me see what he did there?
It's very hard for me to. I work all the time because if I don't
Yeah.
create, then I'm not earning. So, and I'm addicted to work. I love what I
Yeah.
do. So the problem when you put compiling a show is, people have the natural instinct to steal.
Okay.
Might be why I should be in politics. And they steal gags. People
Okay.
steal gags. I've heard my gags
Many
on the
times.
radio.
Okay.
By
Interesting.
being told by another comedian who's trying to sell his own show. But like verbatim.
So you know it wasn't a mess up. This is like they actually stole the joke.
Verbatim,
Okay.
The whole story. So, and it's a natural. I don't want to say it's a natural thing to do, but when you are stressing about whether your own material's working, you lean into what you love. And I
Okay.
found myself one day I was working on a show, and I found myself walking on stage like the comedian that I just watched.
Okay.
And then I realized I couldn't watch stuff while I was creating work.
Yeah.
When I watch other comedians, and I don't watch a lot of
Yeah.
stand up, when I watch other comedians, it's got to be during a time when I've got absolutely nothing to do.
No,
and my guy is Richard Pryor.
Okay,
You know,
legend.
who I absolutely adore.
So that's also what I also told someone. They was like, "So, Mr. May, like, do you watch what other people are doing?" It's like I also don't have the time because I'm also busy creating. And also, you find yourself maybe when you are watching some other people's stuff, without you knowing, this is not the verbatim part now. Sometimes you may have heard something now. You write the joke down, but you don't know somewhere in the subconscious something that you heard, and that kind of steers it to make the joke. You're like, oh, but that you stole my joke. But no, it was somewhere in the back. That's because of listening to some other people's jokes.
Yeah,
and it happens.
And mannerisms rub off as well. That's fine because you know somebody told me one day I had a breakdown about being copied, and I was with another artist who's huge, but he's in the music business in South Africa. And he told me, and we were out partying that night, and I was getting all mopey about this, and he said, Lottering, be flattered.
Yeah.
Move on. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning and write new stories. That's just, you should take it as a compliment.
I got that. That's actually nice.
And that stayed with me.
Yeah. Okay, Mark, final 2 here to have before we're gonna wrap this up because I see Kino needs to go. I think he still needs to be home soon. So we need to wrap this up. He's probably looking like Mark get done.
What is he up to now? Is he in a new... Okay,
yes. I've heard something about it. Not sure. Yeah. Okay. Would you rather be the... I didn't write these questions. This is a funny one.
Sure you didn't.
Would you rather be the 5th member of the Temple Boys? Or have over 1 million Instagram followers on Instagram?
I would rather be the 5th member.
The 5th member of the Temple Boys.
Sure.
Mr. Who would you be, eh?
Hey, give me two Mr.
Okay, there's Mr. Stifler, there's Mr. Verkom, there's...
Mr. Los.
Mr. Los.
Ek is Los.
Guys, Mr. Los for president, Mr. Los. Would you rather do one live presentation naked or never see your partner naked again? Do one live presentation. Let's say one comedy show. You're gonna go do a full show, the new one that's coming at the Baxter now, most that you're busy with, right? Do that whole thing naked.
Sober,
not I don't know, what do you want? Cocaine? Do you want marijuana? Do you want what do you want?
Do it, but I definitely want to see my partner naked.
Okay,
again, but I won't do.
Are you willing to
naked sober?
Now, okay, then what? So what are you taking? Like, I don't know.
Do
you want drugs or alcohol?
I'll be on stage, Kalgat.
Okay.
But I will not be doing it sober, and you can't ask me on a podcast what my choice would be as to how do I have an out-of-body experience.
This is supposed to be the unfolded show.
Coming in the dressing room, if somebody comes to the dressing room and say, Mr. Meyer decided this bottle
and this, yes.
So
okay,
because I'm rising to the challenge. But then if I say rising, then I can't be too drunk.
Yes.
But
it has to work. It's fine. You can mix something else in if you want to.
Performance anxiety, literally.
But you still haven't answered our question, yeah?
I did. Naked on stage.
Naked on stage, definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been
I hope it was fun. I don't know how you're gonna.
Because no, it was very fun.
Because when I speak to people, when people watch things back, they always expect to laugh.
No, but this wasn't about you being funny. This was about finding what Mark thinks about life.
Yeah, exactly.
And where we're at right now.
It's free of charge.
It's free of charge. Yes.
So I didn't need to be funny.
Yeah, I mean, no one's paying you for the jokes here. But they're all going to be at the Baxter, right?
They're all going to be at the Baxter.
I want some royalties for this, pushing the show, So, guys, that was it, man. This is the PSA podcast. Myself, Mr. Meyer, Marc Lottering. It's been a pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Until next time, catch you guys on the next show. Yes, salute, guys. Mr. Meyer. Back with another public service announcement. Hey! Gents, I hope you guys are feeling good this morning.